Welcome to my garden side quest. Today is the first day of spring break, so of course that means we are planting seeds for the garden. Today we are planting flowers, nasturtium and marigolds. So I have several different varieties here of nasturtiums. We just learned how to pronounce that word today. Before today we were calling them nasturtiums. So these are nasturtiums. I have several varieties. Some of them grow very tall and some of them grow very wide. You have to plant them a half inch to an inch deep in soil. And let's get started. So a little bit about my experience with these seeds over the years. The first time I ever got these was at Sunrise Nursery in Grant Park, Illinois. I absolutely fell in love with these flowers. They are wonderful pest deterrents for your garden, but you also need to make sure that you do not start them indoors too early. And I made that huge mistake last year. So last year I started them in like February, and by this time they were so tall and out of control that I can barely keep them alive in the little pots. So the first variety that I'm planting is called Cherry Rose Jewel, and I put 2 seeds in each little hole. So I have 2 rows of those. The next one we are going to do is the Alaska mix, and this is by Seeds and Such. I think I'll just do 1 row of these. That's really all I have enough for. Perfect. That was the Alaska mix. Next we have the Peach Melba mix. So some of these are itty bitty and some of these are nice and big. So what I'm doing is I'm putting a big one and a little one in each hole, just in case the little one is a dud. Okay, the next variety for these last 2 rows that I'm going to plant are my own. So last year I really tried to collect some seeds for the very first time, and these were so easy to find at the end of the season. They were just kind of on the stem by where the flowers were. So I picked them off and kept them all winter. So we will see if these germinate. Fingers crossed. All right, those are planted. Now we are going to go ahead and move on to our marigolds. I also collected marigold seeds for the first time last year, by pulling off a whole bunch of dead heads. What I did not do though is pay attention to what variety of dead head I was pulling off. So this is just kind of a mixed bag. I'm also going to give a try to planting some of these cheap marigold seeds that I got at Menards last season for 59 cents. So I'm going to give these a shot along with my own that I harvested, and we'll see how they go. How many marigold seeds do you put in a hole? I do not know. I'm just going to put a couple. So this is the first time I've ever grown marigold seeds in this kind of setup. In the past, I've always used just a 10 by 20 tray and filled it with dirt and then just kind of sprinkled the marigold seeds everywhere. The downside with that was then they were all kind of messed up and tangled, and it was hard to separate them out. So this year I'm doing it in these nice little seed starters. So I think I'm going to maybe drop 3 in each hole and hope for the best. I have my handy dandy little helper over here, so I'm going to have him label some sticks for me. So this is a Cracker Jack mix marigold. So if you could write that on there, I would appreciate that. 4.
It says 2 to 3 seeds, 1/4 inch deep.
Yeah. Some of these are like broken in half, so. I don't know. Again, this is the first time that I've ever done this. Normally I just sprinkle them. No, I sprinkle them all over the top of 10 by 20. And what grows, grows. This is the first time I've ever planted them in individual little seed cells. So we'll see what happens.
If I just write Cracker Jack mix, you're going to know that's a marigold, right?
Yep. And then do 4 more and call them my marigolds. My marigolds.
Those are yours.
Well, that's definitely more than 2 or 3. There's still some fuzz attached to these. Dead flower.
Okay.
Dead flower.
Dead flower.
This is a very interesting experiment.
That's a lot.
I know, but they're still like kind of stuck together. I probably should have researched that a little more. Do the sticks go up or does the fuzz go up? Or does it not really matter? I don't know. Yeah. See, here's the bottom of the dead head, and you could see all the little seeds. kind of a mess.
We'll be doing that again.
At this point, I'm just sprinkling them over the top. And then I'm going to shove them into the hole. My dirt is nice and moist. So it's easy to make holes in. All right. All right, I have 2 more rolls here. Rows. Can't even talk right today. Rows.
Rose.
Yes. 2 more rows. And I'm going to do French double dwarf in these 2 rows.
You have tags for that?
French, no, I don't. I need tags.
French double dwarf.
French double dwarf, yes. I used to really prefer, actually I only need, well, I'm putting too many in. So, yeah, 2 or 3 or 4. I actually used to only like the dwarf varieties because the tall ones I felt would take over my garden because they get so tall and so wide. But last year I had some of the tall ones kind of up against my cow panel, which was nice because as it grew, I kind of weaved it around the cow panel, and I felt like it helped keep pests away from my vining squash, which was my favorite squash variety of the season last year. It was our first time growing it. All right. Thank you. Just gonna pat a little extra dirt here to cover up the holes.
Says once the seedlings have sprouted, cut away the weaker seedlings, leaving 1 to 2 strong ones in the spot.
Sounds like a plan.
8 to 12 inches apart.
All right, all the flowers are done. So we have nasturtium and we have marigolds. Thanks for joining in on my garden side quest.